Hey guys, how's it going today? We've got a comparo shootout type video for you, and we've got Dan here with us. Hello. And he's got a, go ahead Dan.
Triumph Speed Triple 1050S. This is the base model.
2016. Yep.
About 140 horse, but it does have Brembo brakes, and I mean it's better suspension than a lot of stuff I ride.
Yep.
So.
No, that's a nice. You got a SC Project exhaust looks like on there too.
Correct.
Yep. You'll hear that on the video while we're riding. We got a camera mounted to the speed, and then I'll have my normal chin mount on mine, so you can hear the bikes a bit.
They can formulate their own opinion, but that's music to me.
Yeah, that's music to Dan's ears. Yeah,
that's part of the reason I bought the bike. Is the song.
Yep. And then over here we've got an 18 Street. This is the RS with the Owens rear shock, the Showa front end. Got about 128 or so horse. I believe that's at the crank, and something like 50 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. I think. Yeah, like 49 or 48. Whereas this bike has more like 60, 70 foot-pounds of torque. I think.
Well,
I'll put it in the bottom. It'll pop up somewhere around here. How much power that these have?
It has enough to move a bike.
Yep. They both get moving. So we're going down to Wildcat Mountain today, and there's some pretty good riding down there for anyone who's in the Midwest who's been down there. It's pretty incredible. They just repaved it this year, so we'll see if it's a little greasy yet. But we'll go down and hit it, and then afterwards, you guys watching the footage there and stuff. We'll do a montage, and then afterwards we'll talk about the bikes and see which one Dan prefers, or I think we know. And then we'll just do a little comparo here and see what we think. They're going to be pretty similar bikes. They're similar weights. This is basically, the big brother or the big daddy street triple. So this is the little brother, right? So they're quite similar. All right, let's get to it. We got to get out there. We're wasting daylight.
They call it the little tail of the dragon.
Yeah, it's active. It's a very active, and the big thing for me is line of sight.
Yeah, no, it's all blind. Oh, you want to do a little swapsies here?
Take the big girl for a ride.
Oh boy, now I'm going to be nervous. Now I'm going real slow. You can feel the extra weight a little bit, but it's not that noticeable. Not as noticeable as I remember it being from when I had the 19 Street Triple last year. It's still extremely nimble.
guys, we are back from the ride on Wildcat Mountain with Dan here with the 1050 his 16 speed and my 18 street. So you'll see some footage in between. I might throw some in while we're talking. Sometimes I throw some in. And we swapped bikes. I did he did 2 laps on the street and I did 2 on the speed. And his speed needs to bleed the brakes. We'll do that tonight, and we're going to hit that area again tomorrow. So we'll get to well, we're hitting more. We'll probably go all the way through to Hillsborough, Reedsburg tomorrow for you guys.
Brakes are overrated.
Yeah, brakes. Yeah.
No, actually, the compromised brakes. Definitely could tell that the speed was the speed was compromised, but the street, I mean, it's telepathic.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was going to use. That's funny.
It just really is. It knows where it wants to go. You don't really have to give her too much more goose. The only thing I would say is that the 1050, obviously, the torque, the grunt, you can leave it in third gear on Wildcat and just whoop up the, and it really doesn't have to work that hard. Spin that smaller bike up a little bit, and she's. I mean, I think you could probably go up any real twisty road quicker with the more nimble bike.
You can leave it first if you really want.
That little thing just does the job well. And I shouldn't call it little.
It's about 125 horse or something like that.
You know, it's a solid.
Yeah. What I'm concerned about is when I get that R9T coming up, that has more power than the R9T, and it's 100 and some pounds lighter. So I'm gonna be like, where's the juice? That's what happened when you get on the speed though. When I was on the speed in second gear, there's so much power under 3,000, 4,000. It's just lots of juice. You get back on the street and you're like, oh, okay, there it is.
I'm afraid to get back on my SV1000.
Yeah.
I love riding that bike. It's set up for the track. It doesn't have anywhere near as good a suspension as the Speed Triple. Okay. But it is my track bike. But it's got the torque, being a twin, but it's just not going to punch out like the Triple does. I love it for the sound too. Yeah, I mean it's more, as you know, the bikes are a visceral thing. Just,
the V twins have that.
It's stirring, but there's no complaint about the. Well, you've heard the song on the end. I'm sure that some of the video is going to pick that up. That bike barks.
It's tough once I've had the triples now to go back to the 4-cylinders. Like the Gixxer 750 I had was really fun, but once I got the street, I knew I was going to sell the 750.
One prevailing thought while I was following you, your road and everything like that, but it's like, I wonder how my wife's going to be about a 4th bike in the garage, because the Speed Triple and the Street Triple, they do different things well, and I could see having one of those.
Maybe you need a Daytona. Then you have the upright, and you'll have the speed motor in the Daytona.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to still sleep in my house. But I mean, of course, you want to have them all. But and if I ride the Daytona tomorrow, and feel a comparison. The committed riding position, obviously,
it's pretty painful. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, wait till you get an extra 20 years on you. Yeah, and a few more broken parts. Oh no, you don't want the broken parts. But the committed riding position, obviously, for the purpose. And I mean, I'm really tempted to take my Speed Triple for a track day. Yeah, it would be phenomenal.
I bet you there'd be a blast over in Road America. Oh, the bigger track.
Oh yeah. And, I mean, that track is. Got all sorts of room. It's phenomenal now that we paved it. Yeah.
What about the top speed is on the speed?
I don't know. I have
like 160 something, 170.
I don't know. I have really never taken the time to look at the speedometer. Straightaways and anything like that. Got other things to worry about. My skill level is not such that I can give any attention to what the speedometer is saying. I've had people tell me, I blew past you, and you were still moving. That I hit 175 in the front straight. Well, good for you. Well, turn one. occupies a lot of your attention. That is a definite high.
Well, you're looking for your braking markers, I suppose. And
yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Instead of worrying about what the speedo says.
You're not getting that unsettling bump that used to be in turn one. That would really. But it's just a huge, wide. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's way more forgiving than some of the other tracks and things like that. And you know, my experience is limited this time.
My experience is so limited. I've never done a track day. So.
Next up, there you go. That's a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
You definitely got enough equipment to. You know,
yeah, I think I take the street. I'm so comfortable on that riding position. Mm-hmm. When I get on the Daytona, I feel like I'm on a different planet or something. Because I go to hang off and like I'm at this weird
position. That's a big part of it, you know.
Yeah, just getting used to it.
I mean, my first track day was on a '95 Honda CB1000.
Oh man!
You know, so you're talking a dual shock.
Yeah.
You know, carbureted.
Yeah.
It was water cooled, but I mean. Those things were not high horsepower; they're kind of porky, but it had sporting pretense.
Yeah,
you know. And I had a ball doing it. I mean, I rode that bike on Road America. I rode a Ninja 1000 that was more
the SX, right?
That was the only bike in the garage that was available at the time, and I was signed up, and here we go.
Might as well. Yeah,
I had a. You know, every day at the track is a good day.
That's what I always say too on the channel here is like I can have fun in anything. We've had like 20 bikes on the channel or more or whatever. I've had fun in all of them. Like you sell them and some guys are like, oh, those are pieces. I had that CB1100, that old like the cruiser Honda.
Yeah.
And some guys really don't like those, some sport guys and stuff. I had fun on that too. So,
well, that was the homage to the '83 CB1100.
Yeah, the UJM stuff. Yeah.
And which that's the one that got away. I had.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh.
And you know, toyed the idea of going on hunting one down. And, you know, a nostalgia bike is fantastic, but you know, sold it to make a girl happy, and I'm still married to the girl. So
it worked.
So it's positive. It all worked out
in the end. Yeah.
But yeah, those are within what they are. They're phenomenal.
So if you could have. If you're gonna, how can we think about this? If you're gonna pay $6,000, $6,500 for either of those bikes, again, and it's like let's say you didn't have either one. Which one did you buy? You buy the Speed again? Yeah.
I'm sorry. So yes, it is. I'm on a track. I am proof it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast. My SV1000 is outclassed by tons of stuff out there, and
we're talking horsepower.
I have a hoot on it, and it's got crummy old suspension, which is probably going to get tickled a little bit. But the horsepower, I mean, you know, the old adage, nothing, no replacement for displacement. Yeah. If it was going to be only one bike, that's that. Well, and
it can do everything.
I'm not a tiny guy,
you know,
so and I can appreciate like the R6. Until I'd ridden one of those things, it's got to be a leader bike. No, those things are once again telepathic.
Ton of fun, or the little ZX6Rs, the Ninjas. They're like the R6s. There's tons of fun. They're really small though. That I noticed the seat on the Speed was a lot bigger and more. It was more comfortable, more supportive, and there's like a backrest for your glutes to sit on. That's like a tiny seat.
It's just enough bigger. I mean, it's more substantial, but you right away when you sat on it, you picked it up off the stand and you said, "Oh, it's heavier."
Yeah.
And as soon as I sat on the street, it's like, "Oh, this thing's."
It almost feels kind of like a toy, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I had to remind myself, not my toy.
Yeah, it does. It feels. The Speed feels more like you've really got something. Yeah. Like it's a solid, heavy machine. That feels like a Ninja, like a ZX6R with handlebars. It's like super light and kind of like toyish. Not that it's built. It's not the build quality's not good. But it feels like
it's put together very well. But it's not flimsy. It just feels.
It feels featherweight. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird on a motorcycle how much difference like 50-60 pounds makes. You wouldn't think, but
I think I'm not real well versed on the generations or anything like that, but I think that is the next generation on from the 16.
Yep.
You know, so the technology is probably just that much better.
Yeah.
And you know,
the throttle's really smooth. For that being a ride-by-wire, the throttle's super. I was expecting a little jerkiness because ride-by-wire is kind of, especially the Japanese stuff gets a little, but like the FZ09. But yeah,
yeah, it doesn't need any fueling though.
No, and it's all stock. Your throttle is pretty smooth too. And I think, is the 16, is that ride by wire? I don't know. I don't remember. I think it is in 16.
I don't know. Hold on, stay there.
Check. We're gonna check.
That is ride.
It is ride by wire. So they're both ride by wire.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're both ride by wire. But
So
they're
the
both
two-
pretty smooth.
2 wires coming down look like throttle pins. But yeah, it's ride by wire.
You can really feel the torque, like at the bottom of second gear in that. You can really feel the speed. You know you've got more power. You can feel it when you know.
One of the things that they, way back when I was younger, I started doing track days. One of the things was the second gear or third gear drill. When you're working on body position, so you're not having to worry about what gear you're in.
Yeah.
They talk about a second gear drill, a third gear drill.
Yeah.
That bike,
There's so much power.
I mean, on the smaller tracks, phenomenal. You just stick it in one gear and work on that, and yes, some places you might be lugging a little bit. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that with certain bikes where you start to really lug down low, like the bottom end of that ZX6R, there was nothing there. Like underneath 6,000,
That
those
bike is
forces.
meant to be spin.
Yeah, there's just nothing there. Or you lug a bit. I didn't really lug, but there's just nothing there. Or well, what was it? I had an S2R1000 Ducati. That V-twin had a very small power band. Like once you were in it, it felt great, but it was really narrow.
You
compared
just
to the
gotta, you're
triples.
rolling that gearbox to keep her alive.
Yeah. Compared to the triples, they're really tractable. They're really easy to use. So which one would I take? Boy, I really like the street. It's a little more cramped. Like the legs are a little more cramped on it. The seat is not as comfortable as that. But for the kind of riding I do, I ride around here pretty close. I'd probably stick with the street. But I guess
It's a better carving tool.
yeah, and all the stuff around here is so tight. The ridge that's right here is so tight. But that bike, if you're going to do any kind of highway work or anything with that, or if you're going to ride 2-up, that's going to be better 2-up.
You're not giving up enough horsepower going to the smaller bike to make a difference if your riding is what you have on here with the tight roads, the decreasing radius curves. I mean, just the more technical riding.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're going to have to drone it and everything like that, you want a little more horsepower.
Yeah. And that gets a little buzzy, a little bit, when you're on the highway and you're like up in 4th, 5th or something. It's not bad, but the handlebars, it's just a smaller motor.
Me personally, being old and tired, I rode over here on the bigger bikes. And yes, the 1050 is a larger. But truth be told, I trailered my bike over here today.
Well, riding 2.5 hours and then riding another 2.5 hours, that's a lot. On the speed.
Well, the wind blast and everything like that.
Yeah, I think I guess at the end here, I think they're pretty similar. They're both triples. The bar position's almost identical, like the way that your hands sit, the way the bars are. You might be a little bit more brake in the speed, maybe a little bit, but
I just didn't notice.
They're so similar. It's the legs, like the legs on the street are a little more up.
It is.
It gets a hip cramp once in a while.
Yeah.
The motors are almost the same. They feel the same. They sound the same. I mean, yours sounds way better with the SE Project exhaust, but like they're both triples. The speed has significantly more torque. You can tell.
You're not. I mean, if somebody told you this is what you're going to be stuck with, you're not going to be upset.
No, I would take either of these bikes.
So you're just. I mean, honestly, it is almost the point of nitpicking. But
you'd be happy with either of these bikes.
Nimbleness or power. I mean, that's really the only separation. They're both kind of. I mean, they are from the same stable.
If you can find a smoking deal on either of these bikes, you'd be happy. You'd be happy. And some guys love the V-twins. Some guys love 4 cylinders, 3 cylinders. Right now, I really like the triple stuff.
Ride them all.
But yeah, you ride them all. And you can have fun in anything, but I think over time, over a few years, you'll kind of start to figure out what you really like. Like what bike speaks to you over the years.
Yeah, I think so.
But then your taste changes.
Well, yeah, your taste do change. And I also, the aforementioned long-suffering wife, she tries to, kind of put a cap on the spending for bikes.
Yeah.
But right now I have a twin, a triple, and a 4.
That's right. What do you prefer?
Depends on the day, depends on what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the smoothness of the big inline 4s. I mean, I bought a bike from Matt. That's how we met.
Yes. Yeah. So he bought the silver ZX14 that's been on the channel here.
Yeah.
He bought that. Yeah.
And that's got a phenomenal sound. Now, I actually kind of traded that off, got a Concourse 14.
Yeah.
That's just got a basic Delcovic, but it's that smooth, it's that high-pitched Kawasaki scream.
Yeah.
So the all-day smoothness of the inline 4, you can ride all day. It's not going to buzz you to death. It's not a soul story for me.
Yeah.
But they're liquid smooth, super reliable.
And if you need a passenger or you want a passenger, that's
solid. But that's not to say that the small inline 4s aren't fun either. But it really depends.
Yep.
It just I like small singles.
Yeah.
So it's
Thumper.
fun.
Yeah.
You have our good friend Rob. He described it as Moto ADHD. You have it way worse than I do.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. I think I've been thinking about this. I think I like just experience, like the novelty of experiencing and trying new things, and I think I like learning. So like when I get a new bike, it's like I'm learning a new thing, and it's like something new to experience. And
there's only so much garage space. There's only so much capital. I want to play with them all.
Yeah,
and
that's what it is.
Bright, shiny always attracts.
Got to catch them all. Yeah. All right, I suppose we'll probably finish this up. We're gonna bleed those brakes on the speed, and we'll do some more riding tomorrow. So some of you guys might see some of that footage. We'll see where the day brings us tomorrow. So catch you guys later. Thanks again, Dan.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right with you anytime.
I'm sure you guys will see him on the channel again. Talk to you next time.